and this is coffee time.
What are we going to be talking about today?
Oh my goodness, we're going to be talking about March Madness. And we're also going to be talking about a subject that it's pretty dear to a couple of folks. We're going to be talking about animal rights. So we got a good show going on here today.
Yeah. I can talk about the animal rights, but that March Madness, that's a new thing to me.
Yeah, we didn't do March Madness in New York, did we? Oh, we might have. We just didn't know we were doing it.
I didn't know. All I did was work.
March Madness is pretty big here in North Carolina, so I'm actually all up in March Madness now, so I love it.
March. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You know what we never do? And I have a lot of people that say, that they watch us. So I like to give a little shout out.
Oh yeah.
Long Island.
Long Island. How
New
you
York.
do?
Boston, Mass.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Florida, honey.
Florida.
California.
Yeah.
We have some folk up in there too.
Nice and sunny in California.
Make me angry. Or Florida too.
Oh my goodness. Arizona.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Arizona.
We have some followers further out, but next time we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. And I want to know all the places I mentioned. Do you have March Madness too? And if you do, and all the ones that I know, talk to me and let me in on it. Was it going around at the time when we were younger? I don't remember what.
It probably was, but we just probably didn't know what it was. We probably like, oh, that's a...
But Donna, I'm older than you are. I'm supposed to know those things. I mean, we had the eggs, but it wasn't March. It was like, let's get together. Let's hang. Yeah.
Well, how's that March Madness?
Well, it wasn't. It was, like that was the time of year that everybody started doing that. But it wasn't where they took it to the extent that it does here.
Oh my goodness. And it really gets like busy and hectic and everything. And it's almost like Black Friday in a sense. So.
But the whole month instead of one day.
There you go. An
Wow.
Italian month.
Wow. Before we forget, how was your weekend? I did it.
Well, my weekend was pretty good. Got to go to the barbershop with my husband.
Did you?
Yeah, so I sat in his world for a little bit. And interesting, but a nice experience.
Yeah,
and, speaking about March Madness, they had a whole nother different view than what I have and what March Madness is. So it was pretty fun and exciting.
We all want to know, how's your water challenge going?
Ooh, it's going really good. It's going really good. I am drinking my 8 bottles of water a day.
I'm up to 2.
You up to 2?
Just 2.
I'm so proud of her. I am so proud of her.
Yes. Just 2. But it is a strain to drink those 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like water. Water. So I'm thinking about getting a 0 water stuff in it. There's this thing that you get and it filters through and it's 0.
What is that?
Well, you filter the water.
Oh, you filter the water. I thought you was going to get like a diet drink or something. I'm like, Mom, no.
You filter the water. Because I get this thing where, we came from New York and the best water in the world was New York.
Was from the tap.
And let me tell you, it had stuff in it. It had clouds. And you had to wait for it to filter out. But it was the best water you ever. Cold.
It was.
Cold. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like they had a little ice cube down there, and the water used to fall. It was the coldest, best water in the world. But God knows I wouldn't drink it now.
No, because see, you're educated.
So I'm thinking about getting this filter. And I pour my water in it. I'll put it in the refrigerator, and maybe I'll get that same I want to drink attitude. So, I mean, I'm struggling at 2.
You're struggling. But don't, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started, because it wasn't like that was something that I did every day. But now it's like I prefer water over soda. So I do love soda.
I still love my soda, y'all. Listen, when we come back, we're going to talk more about your March Madness, okay?
Yes.
Yes, and the animal rights, and we're going to get into all of that tonight.
Yep.
Okay? Be back in a minute.
If I had to choose, I choose Carolina.
Yeah. So talk to me more about this March Madness. What is it done? I want to know the details because honestly, you know, I've been here a pretty long time and I've seen the young men go crazy this time of the month, of the year. But I really never
Understood what it was. Well, March Madness is a twofold thing. It's you'll see a lot of sales
Right.
this time of the month.
I do.
And which I love it because I'm gonna get my shoes.
Of course you will, boo-boo. Of course you will.
I love it. But I come to find out March Madness is like Disney World for men.
There's Toy Story, huh?
It's like their Toy Story or
Wow.
something. So, like when I first came down here, I was told, who do you like better, Carolina or Duke? So I won't mention, because I won't mention it.
I do know if you wear a certain color, oh, you're a Duke fan, or you're, I'm just wearing a color. You know?
I mean, that's really, really big. And which is kind of crazy, this weekend, like I was telling you, I went to the barbershop with my husband, which what they say about barbershops is so true. It's hilarious. It's like so funny.
What is it?
Well, they joke around and stuff like that. And so we had like a blast. And plus, this particular barbershop we went to, I loved it because it was like, I don't know, it was like, you could bring your kids there.
What's the name of the barbershop?
Oh, it's called Blends.
Blends?
Blends.
I keep wanting to say Blends. Blends?
Blends.
Okay. Blends Barbershop. Okay, I said it right down.
Okay, and so my husband was getting his haircut, my son was getting their haircut, and they were talking about March Madness.
Okay.
And so it was crazy because,
So who did they root for?
well, half of them said Carolina, and the other half said Duke.
So that was like a...
It was like a big...
Did any one of them mention, you know, what their wives are doing while they're going crazy? Are they a part of it?
I think eventually you gotta be a part of it, because if you got a husband who just like really gets into this March Madness and they really they're like Duke, Carolina, whatever, after a while you become like, you have to. I think so. I don't know.
You know, you're right, because there's only 2 things that I really never dealt with, or 3 things. The first one was the Knicks. Yeah, I'm kind of back there. The Knicks. We really got into that one. And the person in my life made me get into it. I mean, that's what he was about.
Yeah, but
right?
I'm sure you enjoyed it after a while.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Well, okay. He ain't gonna stop. Let me just say. Oh, he's throwing the ball down the court. Oh, wow. What's the team I'm rooting for? Yeah. Go baby, woo. You know what I mean? And then the second one was the okay, it was that, and then it was football. Okay.
Oh yeah, football. Yeah, you know what? In the beginning, I have to be honest. I'm not really like a sports person, but one of the things I do love is like game day. So I guess
You mean when everybody gets to the party and they're drinking
and then drinking
eating and stuff like that? Yep.
Yeah, and so I had a couple of friends. They were like heavy into basketball and stuff like that. So they have parties like that too,
Wow.
which is really fun. So
The last one is the racing, going around and around, and come on, people. I mean, how many times you fall asleep, and the person is falling asleep, and you say, "You're not watching this. I'm gonna change." Don't you change that? Got one eye open. I still see them. What are you waiting for? For somebody to crash?
then to turn to left. I don't know.
So you also told me that they do a lot of dressing and clothes and sales this time of the month.
Oh yeah. Like I said before, my shoes, great deals. All the stores, I don't know, they just get together. They start marking and slashing things down, and
So that's why the sales. Well, it started at the end of February, but I do notice
that March
everything
is like
changes over.
crazy. Yep.
Yeah. Well, down in North Carolina, they're really into it. Oh my God. I mean, I'll just take advantage of going to the store.
Getting your shoes. Notice I keep saying shoes.
You can hang out with shoes. I'm going for the clothes.
The clothes.
Clothes. Shoes will come along. So you guys decide what March Madness means to you, and you let us know. Okay? We'll be right back.
If y'all down 10 points in the last 2 minutes,
You gonna come back?
I want y'all to keep faith this time.
Oh yeah.
As a true fan to do, cause see, y'all was looking like the last meeting, y'all looked like the Seahawks fans. Y'all look like the Seahawks fans who left the game early and had to watch it on TV.
That was good.
Okay.
Roy Williams got to get 1,000 wins before he can come mess with us. That's it. You got to get 1,000 wins. Coach K all day. Coach K all day.
Go Duke.
Go Duke. Baby.
As a neutral man.
Oh, I'm not neutral.
So if you're not neutral,
No, I'm talking about as far as you talking about picking one team.
who do you think will win?
Yeah, who you think gonna win? I mean, you guys are feisty now. I just stay out of that.
So you think Duke gonna win?
I say that.
So you gonna come to the barbershop and keep your mouth closed
Yeah,
on the
that's
conversation?
it. That's right.
That's not. You don't. That's not how it goes in the barbershop, man.
Yeah, nah, man, I don't mess around.
You ain't trying to start no fight.
Yeah, March Madness is pretty crazy, but it's fun, it's exciting, and you know, the guy, like I said, it's like Disney World for the guys, so they
That just tickles me. Disney for the guys.
It's Disney for the guys, they love it, so it was pretty cool.
It's
And
amazing how somebody can feel so strong about something.
oh yeah, they
Oh my God.
they can really get
I
into
heard
it.
my neighbors talking about, well, you know, he really didn't set it up right, and he shouldn't have done it this, that. And when I'm going, you ain't out there. How you gonna talk about somebody like that? You know, they're really into it.
They really get into it, you know, and like when we were at the barber shop, you know, the fellas there, they were getting into it too, so it was pretty cool. And speaking about that place, that is a really
Pool table.
Yes, it had a nice pool table and
video for the
video
kids?
for the kids. It's very kid friendly.
It's family oriented.
It's very family oriented, and you know, and the guys, they get around and they junk talk too. they were talking the March Madness and everything, but other than that, it was like, you know.
You think the men junk talk more than women? But they do it nicely. They do it nicely, don't they? Yes, they.
I don't know.
The men in here are saying no.
Yeah, they're saying no. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that and everything.
Oh, that's because one of yours is over there. I can talk. Mine ain't yeah, mine ain't in here. Okay, so.
But
Talk about madness.
yeah, speaking about madness, to kind of just change the tone just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when we went out and there was some protesters, and
Quiet. They were very quiet.
They were protesting pretty quiet, very peaceful, but they weren't happy about the conditions at the circus with the animals. And so they got together and they just protested, and people who would stop and listen to them, they would tell their story.
Well, they had a lot of signs.
They had a lot of signs.
And now, I didn't want to, you know, and you guys said, come on over, you know, hear them. And I did, and I understood them.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to not want to taste a food, it's another thing to taste it and see if you like it. And basically, once I heard them, because this animal has been around us all our lives. We used to go to the circus, we would see them, and you never thought of how they were being trained. You know, when I asked them, is there another way to train them? And they said no.
Wow.
That they have to do it this way.
Yeah, and that kind of I don't want to voice my opinion one way or the other, but hearing how they were expressing how these animals were being trained.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah,
It's something. I mean, when you see the chains, that was something, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
I never did.
I didn't. I mean,
Because all I saw was the glory part. Oh, we get to see this.
Well,
you know?
I mean, you
it's
know,
kids.
I love going to the zoo. I mean, going to the zoo. I love going to the circus. My uncle, he would take me to the circus like every year, and I love it. And you, as a kid, you know,
don't think of this. You
know,
don't.
as an adult,
You don't really think of it unless somebody brings it to your attention.
exactly. And so it kind of just it kind of opened my eyes a little bit.
It was a little overwhelming.
It was. It really was. But I like the fact that they were out there. They were expressing themselves. They were
Quietly.
They were quietly talking about it.
I mean, when I saw the little baby with the chains on him, and
it kind of put it into perspective. Yeah.
And they were hitting them
Yeah.
with the laser.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
With the fly, you're talking about the
Yeah.
flyer.
Yeah.
And it kind of, because a lot of times you don't see things through other people's eyes. You have to see it through your eyes. And when if you put it in that baby
Content.
in that content,
Yeah.
because you know, not to say that animals don't suffer. They suffer just like us. They feel just like us. And you know, when you see a child, then you're like, oh my goodness, that's an
But
animal.
that was a child.
Yeah, you know, so
And they train them from young.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, when we come back, we're going to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you guys will watch what we're talking about. Okay? We'll be right back.
Okay, and Martha Cecil, what organization are you with?
A group of animal lovers in Greensboro called Speak Out for Circus Animals. We are devoted to educating the public about the plight of wild animals in circuses. They live a sad, suffering life always. Elephants live shackled, and lions and tigers live in cages, all except performing for our entertainment.
I've been an activist. I cleaned 50 miles of river for 20 years, and I came here to North Carolina and decided animals would be my New Year's resolution, and I'd be an advocate for animals. And I checked out online all the videos, and it's just horrific. And I want to use positive messages to. A lot of people don't realize that the circus is so awful. But when you start watching the videos, you realize that we need to make everybody aware. Nothing wants to live in a cage, and even if they weren't beaten, just the fact they have to travel from town to town all the time and perform. It's like slavery. It's awful.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us today. Thank you.
Colleen Smith with Speak Out for Circus Animals, and we're just trying to, we're here today educating the public on what really happens behind the scenes. The training is brutal. They are hit with bull hooks. It resembles a fireplace poker. They are sometimes shocked with electric prods, and we're talking about baby elephants. From the time they're babies, they are tied down with ropes. We know this from former Ringling Brothers trainers that have come forward. Sam Haddock, he was a former trainer, and he has a long documentation on this. Also on our website, www.speakoutforcircusanimals, we have undercover video footage of the abuse, of them hitting the elephants right before the performance. And I'm sure everybody's against animal cruelty. We would love to see circuses come with humans only.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what you saw was just the thought of these people. They did it silently. They didn't fight or argue or yell or anything like that.
But
right?
they were passionate.
Yeah.
And you know, and when I was talking to them to understand, like, why are you even standing out here, you know? And when they started explaining themselves and they started explaining why they felt that it was wrong, you know, I felt the passion in them. You know, I didn't feel like they were doing it because they were trying to cause hysteria or anything like that.
They just wanted everybody to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But in the same token, Ringling Brothers has now said they're retiring their animal, the elephant.
Yeah.
You know, which I give them kudos.
Yeah.
I mean, for years, this is all children knew of, you know, going to the circus, seeing that elephant do whatever. You know, it may tie in because of what they did, and it may not. It may be a heartful thing that the owner said no, no more. You know,
Whatever it is, I'm happy they did it.
I'm gonna miss it though.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a bittersweet because you do have to say that was the attraction of the show that you love. You love the
Well, it was
element.
one of them.
It was one of them.
Yeah. Then you have the tigers.
Yeah.
Then you have all of this, you know, and then it gets you to wondering, what other animal? You know, are they training them a different way? If you could train that elephant a different way, I would have said, hey, that's fine. But I don't think there was any other way, because I asked one of the ladies there, was there another way? And she said no.
Wow.
You know, I mean, in this day and age, you think we could do anything. You know?
Yeah, it's
you
true.
think we could do anything. And that's the downer. I want to talk about that. That's a downer. That kind of hurt.
Yeah, it did.
I'm gonna miss my little things here.
Yeah, it, like you said, it's a bittersweet thing because I enjoyed going to the circus with my uncle. It was a lot of things about it. It was the whole atmosphere. It
You
was
know, I
just,
never went.
no, because it was me and my uncle.
Yeah, all the kids went. Uncles, daddies, everybody else. I never went.
That was his thing.
No.
That
You know,
was his
it's
thing.
just that I knew that I could always go.
Yeah,
See it.
you know, I'm sure they'll make it bigger and better. I mean, they did it
They'll
for
do
over
something else.
200 years, so I'm sure they'll come up with something, you know.
Well, they'll be phasing them out by 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, they just made their announcement that they're letting it go. And although some people feel that it should be now, why wait? But I mean, maybe they're accommodating my other side of me, you know, letting it just phase away.
Or it could be that, you know, these animals, they were born and raised in this atmosphere.
And they got to train them.
And now you're
To go
taking
back
them
out
and you're
into
just,
the wild.
you know, that's another thing too, because what I think, and this is just my opinion, you know, I think that a lot of people don't understand, like when you send these animals out in the wild, you have to kind of just, they've never been there, you know.
Yeah.
That's like taking us and putting
Yeah.
us someplace else. We've never been there. You have to get
And from what I
adjusted.
understand, there are the monarch of the elephants, which is a female elephant. She has to accept that elephant, the little one, if it didn't have any other mother, and the mother had got caught for whatever reason, it had passed away. And the monarch, which they are very family orientated, the elephants, she has to accept that one into the fold. You know,
I didn't know
and then you
this.
have the males when they get teen. Oh, I know a lot about that.
I
read
see.
about that. I watch.
I see. I'm like, wow.
shows.
Plus, my mom, she loves elephants too.
I watch like the channels regarding the animals and stuff like that. Penguins.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that, you
yeah.
know, that might be a cruel thing where we capture them. I don't think it's cruel if they're lost at sea and they come to us and we take care of them. But most people take care of them and put them back
Right.
out at sea. And like saving the whales and stuff like that. Listen, we want to say thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
You know, I hope you enjoyed what we talked about. March Madness. Oh my God. Christmas for men. That was her. Remember to see us. You can also hear us on the big chat. That's with
2 G's.
2 G's. Okay? Come back. See us again. Have a great week.
Bye.